When Emily's family moved into the old house on the edge of town, she wasn't sure what to make of it. It was creaky, cold, and much bigger than their old home. Her parents were thrilled with their great find, calling it a hidden gem. To Emily, it felt more like a forgotten relic. One afternoon, while her parents unpacked upstairs, Emily explored the house. She had already been through the attic, the dusty library, and the bedrooms. But there was one place she hadn't dared to go yet, the basement. The door to the basement was tucked behind the kitchen pantry, hidden as if no one wanted it to be found. Emily hesitated before opening it. The air was stale, and the steps leading down were narrow and dark. Her heart raced, but curiosity won out. Holding her doll tightly, she tiptoed down the stairs, each creak sending chills through her small frame. The basement was dimly lit by a single flickering light bulb. It was filled with old furniture, rusty tools, and cobwebs that hung like curtains. In the far corner, something caught her eye, a large wooden chest, covered in dust. It was the kind of chest that seemed to whisper secrets, a relic from another time. Emily approached it, her small fingers tracing the intricate carvings on the lid. She felt something stir inside her, a pull she couldn't explain. Her doll, an old stitched-up toy her grandmother had given her, felt heavier in her arms. Carefully, she pried open the chest. Inside, she found a jumble of strange objects, old books, a cracked mirror, and a tarnished silver ring. But what really made her stomach flip was a faded photograph lying beneath the ring. The photo showed a girl, no older than Emily, standing in a dim room, holding the very same doll that Emily now clutched in her arms. The girl's face was pale, her eyes wide and hollow, as if she had seen something she wasn't supposed to. Emily's breath caught in her throat. How could this be? She hesitated, then picked up the ring. As she slipped it onto her finger, a cold gust of wind blew through the room, though there were no windows. The basement seemed to darken, shadows stretching and twisting. Suddenly the chest groaned and shifted. A low, eerie creak echoed through the basement, as if something ancient and forgotten had just been set free. From the shadows behind her, Emily heard a soft giggle. She spun around, heart pounding, but no one was there. The giggle came again, this time from the other side of the room. Emily backed up, her eyes darting around, searching for the source. Then she saw it, just for a moment, an outline of a girl, flickering in the dim light, standing near the basement door. The figure was the girl from the photo. Emily froze, her body cold as ice. The figure's lips moved, but no words came out, only a soft, guttural whisper that barely reached Emily's ears. Give her back. The doll in Emily's arms seemed to grow heavier, its glassy eyes staring blankly ahead. She wanted to drop it, but her fingers wouldn't let go. Her arms were stiff, as if the doll was holding her instead. The giggling returned, now louder, circling her. Emily's legs trembled, and the shadows around her seemed to stretch and bend, forming shapes she didn't dare to look at directly. She could feel something watching her, something waiting. Desperate, she ripped the ring from her finger and tossed it into the chest. But nothing changed. The air grew colder, and the giggles turned into whispers, all chanting the same phrase over and over. Give her back. Give her back. The shadowy figure stepped closer, its eyes locked onto Emily's doll. The whispers grew into a scream, a piercing cry that filled the basement and echoed through Emily's bones. And then, in a flash, the figure lunged at her. Emily stumbled back, tripping over the chest and crashing to the floor. The doll slipped from her grip, tumbling across the cold concrete ground. As soon as it left her hands, the figure stopped, hovering over the doll, staring at it with dark, hollow eyes. Emily scrambled to her feet, but something wrapped around her ankle, cold, invisible hands that pulled her back toward the chest. She screamed, clawing at the floor, but the grip tightened, dragging her into the darkness. The shadows swirled around her, pulling her deeper into the basement, further from the light. The last thing she saw before the darkness consumed her was the ghostly figure cradling the doll, its eyes flicking toward her, filled with something dark and ancient. The basement door slammed shut. When Emily's parents finally noticed she was missing, they searched the house from top to bottom. They never found her. The police said she must have wandered off. But Emily's mother always felt something was off about that basement. Years later, another family moved into the house. A little girl, about Emily's age, found the old doll while playing in the basement. It felt strange in her hands, almost familiar. And when she lifted the lid of the chest, she found a faded photograph of a girl holding the very same doll.